Hello, this is the 180th Test from the Future, an experimental podcast from the year 2224, which we are sending from our present to yours. My name is Dirk.
And my name is Simon.
And we're putting the past in podcast.
Hello again, Dirk.
Hello.
How have you been?
Good. Mm-hmm. I've been spending a lot of time in the pool.
Wait, in general, like just today, you mean, or in general?
Today a lot, but the last week already a couple of times.
Okay. Swimming, I presume?
Swimming, yeah. It's Theo gave me a bunch of his old swimming gear.
Okay, like flippers and snorkels.
Yeah, all kinds of things for the pool, and
Nice.
I don't really swim that much, but lately a lot. So I mean, it's usual stuff like turbo flippers and so on.
Yeah.
But he also had one of these anti-force field suits
To go faster, yeah.
Yeah,
Ooh,
exactly.
and have you been swimming in one of the new zero-G pools, like where it's a big sphere of water and you're swimming through it?
No,
No?
I could have done that.
I mean, I guess you're not stopping now, so
exactly.
that'll be a fun thing to try out.
Yeah, it's. I mean, especially the suit that he has is quite old, but it's from the time where there was all the hype, you know, and it has a lot of settings, things you can adjust.
Yeah, built-in podcast player?
No,
Oh, okay, it's too old for that, but
or too new. I
or
don't
too
know.
new. Yeah, right, depending on your perspective.
That would actually be a really cool adjustment. No, but it's. I mean, actually, I spent half of time in the water and half of the time outside of the water, monkeying with the settings. So many things you can adjust, and it's surprising how fast you can swim with a suit like that.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's also. I mean, it's not officially allowed with swimming contests, but it's used a lot for fun and for training.
Yeah.
But it ties into your cyborg chip. This is actually how it produces the force fields around your body.
Connects into that, you mean, like into your own cyborg chip in your body?
Yeah, exactly. So, and this means that it's the range of the field and how strong it is. But it's Theo hadn't installed any updates for a long time.
Okay.
And ever since I came back from the pool, my cyborg chip is all messed up.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's switching on and off.
That sounds tricky. Like you're noticing it, I guess, in the way your body feels?
Yeah, it's especially my nose, my throat. It's weird.
Yeah.
It's because thanks to the cyborg chip, we don't really get sick.
I was going to say, that's pretty serious. Oh, hey, what's that? Nice song.
Oh.
Is it your cyborg chip?
It's my cyborg chip.
It's your cyborg chip. Okay, well, you go take care of that.
Yes.
While you do, I'm going to drink some tea. Okay, and actually, I'll pause the recording and we'll pick it up when Dirk gets back.
So
what was up with your cyborg chip?
yeah, the thing is, it keeps on switching on and off, and which makes me feel ill on and off.
Right.
Which is not a feeling I'm really used to because thanks to the cyborg chip, we're all healthy. All the viruses are taken care of straight away.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure what happened with the suit and the chip. But it keeps on blinking, kind of like a blinking light. So.
Okay. Hopefully you get, let's record that episode now. That's obviously very important. But after that, maybe the second most important thing would be getting that sorted out, that you don't get some illness or sickness that makes you really incapacitated.
Yeah, should be fine. Or maybe it was just the clarified air in the...
The chlorine, yeah. Could be.
Okay. But today we're speaking about even a bigger problem.
Potentially, yeah.
Potentially, yeah. It's about another Big Bang.
Right. An additional one, not the first one.
Not the
one
first
we know. Well, not the one we speculate about that happened long, long ago. But another one that's happened much more recently.
Exactly. And the thing is, we mentioned the second universe a while ago, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Which means that this is a thing that's happening. A new universe is building inside our current universe, not too far from the Partian planet.
Yeah.
They're a little worried about this. They've sent most of their inhabitants to Earth for the time
There's a whole
being,
bunch here, yeah.
while they deal with it. And it turns out it's no coincidence. It started near the Partian planet.
Because they are the ones who started it intentionally.
Yes, that's what actually happened. So they just came clear to us and the Illuminati about this. Did you hear why?
Well, yeah, it's, I mean, not just that I heard it. I mean, so I heard it in the sense they announced it. And I paid attention to the announcement. But right, so us, meaning humans, and also the Illuminati, we reckon there was one Big Bang long ago. That's how the universe was formed.
Yep.
That's about it. And the Partians are like, or actually, how about there's many of them overlapping all the time, but they haven't had any proof of that.
Yeah.
So, as a way to prove it, they started another Big Bang on purpose.
Yeah, I mean, it's so far I had considered it an interesting theory, and also I've found it quite interesting that the Illuminati agree with us. Usually, they agree with each other and not with us on many things.
Yeah,
but this time, so both the Illuminati and us said there was one Big Bang and then the universe appeared.
Yeah,
and the Partians were saying there were several ones.
Yeah,
and they didn't like so much that we didn't agree.
Nope.
So
they figured they're doing some experiments and actually, gather evidence to prove their theory.
Yeah, and to prove us wrong.
That too, if you're or adversarial. Yeah,
and turns out they were right.
Yeah,
or at least
in that it's possible that you can have a second Big Bang.
Yeah.
Now, because sure, it's not that we thought there could never be another one, just that it would need to be after our universe was gone.
We should have clarified that up front before they started one.
With the Partians, maybe then there would have been less of a need for their experiment.
Or we could have said, yeah, we kind of agree with your ideas. Please don't make one.
Sure. In hindsight,
yes,
that would have maybe avoided this stuff going on right now. But we're sure we didn't realize they would take it this far.
Yeah. I mean, creating a Big Bang, that is pretty impressive.
Yeah. It was meant to be, so here's the part of it, it was meant to be a really small one. They weren't trying to make a whole other universe like the same scope as our existing one. And it was strange because the actual initial Big Bang was very small. So, and actually didn't even seem to have an effect. A nice big explosion, that's the end of it. Didn't change the laws of physics or anything.
Kind of like a big dot.
Yeah, exactly. And that was some months ago. But then some weeks ago, that's when it started actually... Oh by the way, there is a new universe gradually appearing from the point where that explosion happened.
Maybe the initial Big Bang also really happened like that.
Right. Like we imagine it as this, in the title, the Big Bang. But maybe it starts super, super tiny and then accelerates from there or grows out from there.
Maybe kind of like how, a sea quake causes a tsunami, and then first there's the quake, and then for a while there's nothing, and then suddenly the sea rises. Maybe it's a little bit like that. But so this means it's now gradually increasing in strength and speed and size.
Yep. Spreading out, and exactly. It seems to be exponential. It's not linear, so it's not growing at the same rate. It's growing faster and faster and faster. Always accelerating.
Yeah, so they've already sent most of their inhabitants to Earth. Not to the Illuminati planet, actually, but to Earth while they were dealing with the new universe.
Yep.
Turns out they're kind of out of ideas.
Yeah. I mean, they've tried some things, of course, with the goal of stopping the new universe from growing, from expanding. And so far, all the things they've tried, which we can talk about in a sec, none of them have succeeded in doing that.
Nope. Did you, because they kind of asked us for help now?
Sure, yeah.
They already...
Not you and me. No. I know I often say this kind of thing, but the way we talk, it sometimes sounds like you, Dirk, and myself, Simon, that they're asking us personally, asking the planet Earth.
Exactly.
Or the population of the planet Earth.
We kind of mean the royal we, no.
Yeah. Anyways, they asked us, personally, if we had any ideas.
Yeah, they said, hey, Dirk and Simon, please help us save the universe.
Yeah, exactly. And but also in general. So wait, should we talk about our ideas first, or should we talk about the things they've tried?
No, I think it makes sense to at least list the things that they tried and didn't work.
So that our listeners understand why we don't suggest those same things.
Yeah, exactly.
So sure, the first thing they tried, which is the most obvious thing to do when you've had a big bang, is to have an even bigger bang to explode that one.
Yeah,
so to blow up the new universe.
It's their solution for most of the galactic problems. Big meteorite heading anywhere, just blow it up.
Yep.
Most of the time it helps.
Most of the time. In this case, didn't.
Nope.
It didn't seem to have an effect. So it's not like it accelerated it, didn't slow it down, just had no effect on it. Which kind of makes sense. You've got a whole new universe forming. Can't imagine an explosion that would actually be big enough to stop it.
Maybe if it's still small.
Okay, yeah, right. If they had done this in the first couple of days, maybe. I don't know.
Maybe they did, yeah. Or maybe once they realized it was happening after all, it was too late to blow it up.
Yeah.
And I like it. What they also tried for a while is to ignore it.
Yeah.
Um,
and I mean, that worked for a little while.
Yeah, it worked for a little while.
I think they were hoping maybe rather than growing at a ever-increasing rate, maybe it would slow down.
Yeah.
And stop and maybe even shrink back.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe it would blow over. Maybe it would...
Yeah, it would dissipate, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, so ignoring it hasn't worked. It has, like I said, so it's been growing and it's been going faster and faster. So at this point they've said, okay, maybe we can't ignore it anymore.
Yeah.
Yep, and then the other way... the main other way they've tried is, I mean, they haven't actually succeeded in this, but they had the idea of either dragging it away from its current location or pushing it somewhere else. Basically, get it out of their neighborhood so that it won't affect them.
Exactly, not in my backyard.
Yeah. And I mean, there's two problems to that. One, it would affect someone else, but two, they weren't actually able, like, they tried wrapping a rope around it. That doesn't really work, you know.
You can't latch onto anything. It's a universe, you know, where do you grab
They tried using magnets, of course, and all kinds of other force field technology and whatever, but you can't actually... They were unsuccessful in pushing or dragging.
It seems there's no real, how do you call it, resistance? Like
right.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was kind of the length of their idea.
Yeah. I mean, I think they didn't just ask us personally to look into this. They're continuing to look into it too, but at this point they're also now... I mean, they've asked the Illuminati too, basically just asking everyone, hey, have you got any ideas? Because they're getting they are worried and perhaps getting desperate about it.
Yeah, no, but it's kind of like peer knowledge. Just ask everybody. Maybe there's a good idea.
Yeah. It's good that they don't have so much pride that they didn't even do that.
Yes, or at least not anymore.
Sure.
So now all kinds of ideas are being discussed. I thought maybe we can discuss a few of those ideas that are being discussed. Maybe we have some more of our own.
Maybe, yeah.
I had one idea. They kind of explained how they created the Big Bang to begin with. Maybe reverse that thing that they did. I mean, it was a complicated process about elements and minerals and how to combine them on certain conditions. I didn't understand most of it.
But maybe it should be good enough, like to get the source code, Command A to select all, Command I to invert.
Yeah.
Command R to run. Maybe that'll work.
Exactly the same thing, but in reverse order.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, that too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, maybe... So, of course, we're talking about it in our podcast now for our listeners. We are not actively looking at the message board where all the ideas are being discussed. Yeah. Of course, there'll be like some kind of ticket, bug tracker, they'll look for duplicates. Presumably lots of people will have similar ideas, and then they can coalesce them and work it out. But that seems like a good idea.
Of course, there's the slight risk that you create a third universe.
Oh, indeed. Or one where time happens in reverse.
Ooh.
Which actually is kind of what they'd want, like they want it to go from being big to small. But then if it's big initially, would that mean it's instantly the size of our current universe? I mean, don't know.
And of course, you don't do it in the proper location. Maybe we shrink our universe. It's
I mean, if we are inside the universe and it shrinks, it should be fine. Like we'll shrink too, is what I mean.
Yeah, fair enough. If it's really shrinking.
Sure, or just compressing. That's a different thing. Yeah, everything gets moved closer together.
What would be the reverse of a Big Bang?
The Big Crunch.
Yeah.
So, but that's the trickiness with this. I mean, of course, there's various models and simulations because you want to do those because there's only one universe. We only have our one universe within which we live to try this out on.
Yes.
And so there's not so much room for error.
And not so much experience with these kind of things.
Right.
We can't really just try them out on a small neighborhood universe.
Not yet. Maybe one day we get there, we can do that, but not yet.
Okay, then maybe that's not the best idea.
Right, so that was to reverse basically the process. Another idea is to move there, like to live there. Why not?
That's...
So in that case, the Partians, they're the ones who will be affected most immediately, as closest to their planet. So rather than worrying about it... I think their fear is that it will destroy their planet. And okay, if that happens, move to the new universe. Maybe it's got some cool new planets.
I mean, if that universe is clearly growing, so you don't have to worry about anything in there, and the fear is it's replacing this one. So how about just go there?
Yeah, and I mean, we're saying it like that's easy. The main thing I mentioned earlier is, what if the laws of physics are different there? Basically, can Partians live there, or as soon as they cross over into it, do they, I don't know, spontaneously combust or unravel or something? That would be tricky. They don't live there. But it's worth finding out, yeah? Like, what's it like in there?
And then we can kind of leave the experiments to the Partians because they're most close.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, exactly. They can check it out, let us know.
Maybe. Yeah, exactly. Let us know.
Because, right, it expanding as it is, it will eventually reach Earth. It'll be useful to know before it gets here what's it like in there.
Yeah, exactly. But you have a fair point. We don't really know.
Right, this is presumption because it's growing, it's been observed from the outside, hasn't yet been observed from the inside. No one's gone into it yet.
I can just imagine just sitting on the edge with a couple of pebbles and throw them in and see what happens.
That would be a good first start, yeah. Maybe don't go in head first yourself.
Just throw in a few
maybe
pebbles.
More daring folk, more adventurers.
Maybe we'll send a spaceship there full of pebbles. Maybe not just pebbles.
Could send cactuses as well. Cacti.
Yeah. I was thinking forks.
Forks too, yep.
Chicken.
Like live chickens running around?
Yeah. I was thinking live chicken, but that's kind of rude.
To the chickens, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, first pebbles, then cactuses.
Yeah, exactly. Send in that's a good next step. So first of all, inanimate objects, then plants perhaps to see how it affects them, and then maybe do those steps first and then see how that goes.
Yeah, exactly. See how that goes and then... Okay, I like that.
Yeah. Okay, but then may I say another idea? Because at the moment we are, not just us, like you and I, but... the Partians, everyone is speculating a bit because, like I say, no one's actually been in there. Because one other idea, possibility, rather than this new universe literally replacing our existing one, which rewriting the laws of physics, destroying planets in its wake and so on.
Basically destroying everything we've ever known about everything.
Exactly. If that happens, that's tricky.
That's tricky.
But if that doesn't happen, how about instead it's more like an overlap or an overlay where the new universe, as it expands, merges with our one. Could happen. And then, so for example, say you've got a solar system with 2 planets, maybe 3 more planets appear around that sun. And okay, you've got then solar, I can't remember the word now, gravity stuff going on that might cause problems there, but put that aside for a sec. The nice way of it going would be, okay, you've got this solar system, couple of planets, people living on those planets. Hey, now there's 3 more, whole bunch of new people, neighbors basically.
So not replacing the universe that we have, but kind of like merging with it.
Yeah, like augmenting even, or adding to, additive rather than subtractive.
Kind of like if you have like a puddle of water and you throw in a few colored droplets.
Sure.
First they make...
Ooh, that would be... Imagine, so at the moment, space is a vacuum for the most part. And what if certain parts of space now get an atmosphere and you can ride through them in open air ships? That'd be pretty nice. But okay, that's really extravagant. At the beginning, let's just assume that the laws of physics are roughly like they are here, or in our universe. Yeah, new planets, new people, new food and music, new tea, all kinds of stuff to try.
And of course, between here and Proxima Centauri, there's a whole bunch of nothing.
Right. So might even fill that in.
Cool. Make it a little bit less boring to travel such long distances.
Yeah. And then, depending on whatever's going on in your life, this might be a really cool opportunity. It might cause you some headaches. You remember we said about needing to move Pluto to get it out of the way to make the C-beam paths. Okay, if there's a whole bunch more planets and moons and suns and everything in between, wherever the C-beam or along the route where the C-beam path should go, that might cause some headaches. Yeah. But at the same time, when you've got all these places to stop along the way, maybe you don't need like a uninterrupted C-beam, Maybe it's nicer to go from place to place.
Yeah, and you don't need to travel to the other side of the galaxy because there's all kinds of cool stuff to see nearby.
Exactly.
See, that's a good point. We don't actually know if it's usurping the current universe.
Not yet. Still early days in that regard. So that's a good point, actually. It seemed pretty presumptuous. The Partians, their first thing was just blow it up. Okay, they were scared, fair enough, but it would make a lot of sense to do some exploration, some research, find out what's going on.
Check first what's going on.
Yeah.
Has it so far actually replaced anything, or is it just slowly pushing it aside, or slowly merging with it?
Exactly. Like making new stuff exist alongside each other.
See, I think this should be plan A now.
To check that out, yeah.
Yeah. And then nuclear weapons and stuff like this can be plan B and C and so on. But plan A is just, let's check first if it's not actually replacing anything. For example, if it is destructive, if it is going to really end planets and lives and so on, okay, maybe then look into the more extreme measures. But even then, blowing it up doesn't seem to work. So, maybe just get a really long straw and suck it from where it is to the outside of our universe. Let it keep on expanding somewhere else. Basically, the dragging and pushing it idea. But okay, that didn't work. To move it as a whole, but maybe it could be funneled through a straw somewhere else. I like that. Just putting up fences and then just slowly nudging it in a certain direction.
You go this way. But how to do that? Of course, that's the difficult part.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. Okay. But I like the idea, because if it's actually a new universe that just adds to the one that we have instead of replacing it, it means indeed all kinds of new exciting things.
Well, right, exactly. So far, Partians, Illuminati, and us. What if there's some whole new, when I say people, not just people other humans, but other
alien races
that we can meet up.
Cool. And all kinds of new food things to try.
That's what I'm most excited about, to be fair. Food and, tea as well, all different flavors of tea.
I'm already adding a food trip to my bucket list. Food trip to the new universe.
A whole lot of exciting possibilities.
Cool. Then let's look into this.
Yep.
And I would say then we don't actually need any further solutions, because maybe we don't need any.
No.
Shall we go to the listener question?
Yeah, let's do that. So let me just check here. Okay, yeah, right. This is one you and I discussed because we have, so Marveen wrote to us and asked us many, many questions about the fairy tale folk that we spoke about recently. And there were so many questions in Marveen's email that rather than answering them all now, we'll have an episode about that in the future.
Yeah.
But they had one question that we figured we'd answer now, and that was, do they, meaning the fairy tale folk, do they mingle? Yeah. And so from the rest of the email we understood, they were asking, Marveen was asking, do the fairy tale folk mingle with us?
Yeah.
Not just amongst themselves, which of course they do. And actually, they're mostly standoffish.
Yeah, so they mostly stick to themselves. Exactly. They also, since we've discovered them a while ago, they haven't actually really moved out of the mountains.
Exactly. What would you say? The wizards, the elves, the dwarves, they're all sticking where they are. The one exception are the orcs.
Yeah.
They're totally, obviously some still do live there, but others have moved to Frankfurt already, others have moved elsewhere. They're, mingling. To answer the question, they are totally mingling.
Turns out they're one of the more social fairy tale folks.
Yeah.
There's one, wherever I get my morning espresso, there's one that's always there roughly around the same time.
Yeah, also getting espresso. Yeah. Exactly. They're not sticking to a fairy tale kind of life. They're rather being hey, what's out here? Because from their perspective, they were in a fairy tale world for so long, and now they're checking out what else is possible.
Exactly.
Which kind of ties into at least the possibility of the other universe maybe doing something likewise, but we shall see.
Kind of.
Maybe we get to do that kind of thing ourselves.
Cool.
Maybe we don't stay in Frankfurt forever. We'll keep sending the podcast back, but
maybe not from Frankfurt.
Maybe not from Frankfurt.
Okay, so that was the listener question of the week.
Right, we'll have a future episode where we answer more of Marveen's questions.
All right. So how did Marveen contact us?
Yeah, Marveen sent us an email by writing to michaellasagna5@gmail.com. And so, our listeners, when you would like to contact us too, please do the same. And put into the subject line the number 180. And that way we'll know this episode successfully went back in time.
All right. Then, thanks for listening. And see you in 200 years.
Bye-bye.